Oh, well, guess what? I finished the Tuono the M1000r video today. It's currently actually processing. It's a lengthy video, 58 minutes. It's designed to be the ultimate test ride, you know. If you haven't got time or access to those bikes to test ride them, watch my video. It's 58 minutes, but you get a proper test ride of both bikes with plenty of commentary and insight, and it's yeah, hopefully it's really useful for those people comparing the two bikes. Look, it's a layman's perspective. I'm no expert rider, I'm no expert on bikes. I'm just a punter who loves motorbikes, and just give an honest, everyday person's view, to be frank. And I don't, you know, I'm sure I miss things. Actually, on that review today, I probably didn't talk too much about suspension of those two bikes. We need to talk a bit more about that, although previous videos have covered that. Just reflecting on the experience of riding those two bikes, doing that video actually was quite challenging. I went out one morning with the Tuono, came back, jumped on the BMW. Actually, I came back, downloaded the videos, then went out about an hour later on the Beamer. But the microphone on the GoPro had come out again. It comes out quite easily. And so I did the whole BMW review in the afternoon, early afternoon. And yeah, put a lot of effort into it. And then when I went and replayed the video, there was no audio, which I was just like, oh no. So for those keen observers, you would have seen the clock on the BMW when I did the review was actually at exactly the same time as the Tuono clock, more or less. I had to do another take the next morning, so I did them both the same time of day actually, which in a way is kind of cool. Yeah, so I had to do the BMW twice, which is actually great fun. I got to ride do the same things twice. So yeah, that's how that panned out. But look, just reflecting on the two bikes, I mean, how lucky am I to be able to own them both and ride them back to back like that? And they're both sort of brands that attract, you know, a pretty passionate following. So I'm sure the people who are passionate Aprilia followers probably disagree with my findings. That's okay. And but the Aprilia is an awesome bike. It's just so good. But you know, you got to expect as the years go on, manufacturers lift their game and you get progress, right? And I think this BMW just represents that. It represents the next evolution of development and performance and all the other things, you know. It's just such a good, it really is unless you've ridden one, it's hard to relate to what I'm saying, but it really is an incredible thing. It's an incredible piece of kit. And the truth is, there's a bit of daylight between the Tuono and this bike, in my opinion. And I'm a big fan of the Tuono, but there is daylight. This just takes everything to the next level. One thing I didn't cover in my videos was the wobble that this bike has been susceptible to. Plenty of people on YouTube talking about it. I've more or less solved it with the steering damper I've put in, and I've got videos on that. I've got a suspension video you can watch that talks about that. And look, it just hasn't been a big factor in my riding, mainly because I don't ride it, you know, 250 k's an hour on the road, which is where the YouTubers who are getting the wobbles are finding the problem. So, you know, for the everyday punter, it's not an issue. Now on the track, I will take this to the track and we'll see how the steering damper really performs. But certainly for road riding, even spirited road riding, it's just not a real world problem. And just on the suspension, one thing I didn't talk about in the video that much, the suspension differences between the bikes are pretty straightforward. This bike is just more firmly sprung than Tuono. Tuono is quite plush compared to this. You can tighten the Tuono up, you can firm it up, and get good front end feel and stiffen it up. But just, you know, pound for pound, on like for like settings, this is a stiffer bike. And I've had to focus a lot on dialing this in and loosening it up a bit actually for road, which I've done, and really enjoying it. So yeah, look, really, it was really fun doing those back-to-back runs and doing that video. It's a long video, but you know, you can find the bits you're interested in. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But at least those people who are really truly trying to compare the two bikes and can't get to the dealership or can't get the time, or the bikes aren't available for test riding, hopefully my video serves as a decent layman's guide, to the whole situation. But look, I've got to contemplate what I do with the Tuono now. You know what I mean? I've got 3 bikes: the Multistrada, the Tuono, and this. I normally recycle every 6 to 8 months. I sort of recycle a bike, sometimes 2. I mean, this time last year in my garage I had Honda Africa Twin, Triumph Rocket 3R, and a Ducati Panigale. You know, and I sold the Panigale first, got the BMW S1000r. So, you know, I've had a few in the last 12. I've got to think about the Tuono now. You know, I've got 2 Hyper Nakeds. As you saw in my video, I do prefer this one. And so, do I keep the Tuono or do I sell it and get something completely different to review? One bike I've thought a little bit about is the I have put an order in for the BMW what is it, the M1000r or XRM, however they call it. I've got an order in for that, which will come next year. So I'm not going to go buy an XR, but I will definitely go and test ride an XR ahead of the MXR arriving. But yeah, very open to ideas about what bike I should get next, if I should keep the Tuono or sell it. I mean, it's wicked. Tuono is so good. Like, you get on that thing and the experience, the engagement you have on it is very different to this. You are on a wild beast that just entertains you. So maybe I'll keep it. I'm just gonna mull it all over. But you know, on reflection, the BMW is significantly better, and I think represents the next generation. I wouldn't mind betting Tuono, Aprilia will come up with a new platform in the next few years, and you know, lift their game to the next level too. When they do, I assure you, I will jump aboard and give it a whirl. Anyway, that's just my few reflections on that whole experience of back-to-backing those bikes in a reasonably meaningful way. Someone actually wanted me to back-to-back the MR with the Multi. It's not the most intuitively obvious comparison, but why not? I might do it. Same day, same, you know, just back to back. Then maybe I will. It's so crazy it might just work. I've got to say though, the effort required to make a video of that length and complexity, I mean, I just do it as a part-time hobby, right? I mean, I've got a day job, so I'm not a full-time professional YouTuber by any stretch. I'm not even that good at videos and editing. Like it's pretty amateur, but I enjoy it, and I'll learn as I go, and I'll get better at it. And one day I'll have more time, I'm sure. But for now, I don't really have a lot of time to do it. That's a massive effort. That was very time-consuming. So look, I might do a video of that type of magnitude every now and again, but I'll stick to shorter, sharper videos in between. So if I do the Multi comparison with this, I'll make it a bit more of a snack, rather than a 5-course degustation meal at a 3-hat international restaurant, which was that video I did today. Holy shitballs, that took some effort. There's a lot of effort in the editing, man, especially when you're an amateur like me. And actually on the morning I did the BMW review, there was quite a lot of, let's just call it, supervisory activity around the around the area that I was frolicking upon, and that required, you know, a bit of stealth, if you know what I mean. Yeah, a bit of stealth. Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to give you a quick short reflection as I battle these peak hour tunnels in the underground of Sydney City. Yeah, more to come, plenty more videos to come. For now, it's see you later.